Hi guys, how's it going, and thanks for tuning in today. Now in this video I would like to make a prediction. We'll make it official, and it is as follows. The Conservative Party Congress is going to go a hell of a lot better than that of the recent Labour Party convention, despite the undeniable and absolute fact that things are in a complete mess. And to add insult to injury, according to the Daily Telegraph, and I have to agree, it is often said that the problem with the Labour Party is that they have too many ideas, and the problem with the Conservatives is that they have too few. This, goes the theory, helps to explain why the left is always at war with itself, and why the Tories always seem to be able to win those elections, okay? Currently, the Labour Party is divided worse now than we have seen it in living memory, and completely lacks any form of cohesion. The recent party conference failed badly to get across their manifesto, to the normal bloke on the street, that is. Instead, it displayed the open wounds that no matter the treatment by even the best doctors, political doctors, they will continue to fester, okay? The Conservatives have embarked on a journey to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, and until the day the sun starts rising in the west, they will continue on this path, secure in the knowledge that their main opposition haven't got the kahunas to stand by their own conviction that Brexit was, that Brexit is, and Brexit always will be complete and utter madness. So let's go. Now, at this point, may I ask you that you hit that subscribe and notification icon if you wish, and just in order to keep the channel moving forward. Now, I'd like to be very clear on what I'm saying here. Until such time that somebody grabs the Labour Party by the scruff of the neck and shouts, "Wake up to reality," stop playing the Conservative game, or simply pointing out the faults in others and produce a plan to get the UK back on into the single market, we have a problem. Guys, even amongst Brexiteers, there isn't a person in the UK that would not agree that there have been some problems as a result of Brexit. Not one person would deny there's been problems. Now, there are many, in fact, the majority, however, of Brexiteers that will also say that they still feel better outside of the EU. The Conservatives are spinning the worker shortages as simply a levelling up process that will kind of help the salaries of low-paid workers to rise, which, let's face it, is going to happen, no question. However, the problem here for Labour is that these jobs were typically the bedrock of their supporters, and the Conservatives at the next election are going to be in a position to highlight how those of the lowest end of the pay scale will have seen a significant uplift in salaries under Conservative leadership. And again, this will be true. It will be true. That being said, however, those salary increases will be gobbled up by the rising prices of essential outgoings such as food, such as energy, and even national insurance. But having witnessed how the ONS are now skewing inflation figures to suit the government's agenda, I feel confident in saying that the figures being released presently by the ONS and now the highly politicised Bank of England will be, at the time of elections, manipulated to serve their political masters. And this is something that has never happened before in my memory to such an extent that we're seeing today. It's quite incredible. Ask yourself this question. What do you think is the lasting memory in the minds of those casual observers of the Labour Party conference? Tell you what mine is. Mine is one of division, plain and simple. Now, maybe I'm doing the Labour Party a disservice, but from those that I've spoken with, all spoke only about the divisions within the party. So just as this disjointed party voted in their 2019 conference in the most shambolic of scenes, the Labour Party continues to trundle on down any path that can be found that insulates the leader from having to publicly take a stance on Brexit. Okay? The party that called for a Remain vote, the party that highlighted the illegal spending by the Brexit side of the debate, the party that saw its former leader act in a manner that was contrary to the party's published stance on Brexit, appears not to have learned from its mistakes. And that mistake was, is, and unless somebody gets hold of it, will remain the greatest gift any party in opposition could offer to any incumbent government anywhere in the world. There is a very big difference between open hostility, as we witnessed in the recent Labour Party conference, and the behind closed doors disagreements that exist within the Conservative Party. Labour continues to subscribe to a policy that because a slim majority of people believe the bullcrap from the Brexit campaign, they should continue to capitulate to their own views and agree to the madness of Brexit policies and a present policy that further sentences the economy to a decade of fiscal scrambling as the full impact of Brexit becomes even more severe and even more increasingly catastrophic. These, you know, the financial services sector, they still have the single market. They're still operating under the single market until the middle of next year. Then it changes. The Labour Party know full well that every leading economist warned of the dangers of Brexit. Nothing has changed. The Labour Party know full well that the pain that is being suffered now will pale into insignificance as international manufacturers reduce their UK investments and look constantly at a way of supplying the UK market from other factories within the EU. Let me give you a prime example of that type of movement. For several months, UK-based companies that pre-Brexit acted as sole distributors of product and services from outside the EU to the UK, Irish markets and EU markets have lost those rights. Similarly, there were UK companies that acted as distributors to European markets alone, and they too are in the midst of losing those contracts unless they relocate to the EU. Okay? Why on earth would a company in Japan depend on a UK company to service customers when they know they now have different regs, different currency, multiple different borders, lack of haulage facilities, and lack of workers? Why would you take that risk? It makes no sense for foreign companies to entertain any UK company that wishes to distribute goods outside of our own borders. Makes no sense. However, as Boris seems determined to burn the bridge to the European market by playing up the non-issue, basically, of the Belfast Protocol in an extremely clumsy effort to deflect from the economic factors that spell the ruination of the UK economy, Labour seemed determined to speak about issues that are simply irrelevant in the overall scheme of things. Irrelevant. The Conservatives, meanwhile, have not given any real data or opinion on what the UK's strategy for green technologies is or the future of the automotive industry. These are industries based in the north of England. What is Labour's policy on motors industry? Let me help you out. They've advocated pumping money into charging facilities for electric vehicles up and down the motorways, as well as providing funding to assist in the setting up of the so-called gigafactories to produce battery packs, etc. Now, the issue with that is that it's complete and utter nonsense. It is a soundbite or a vox pop for the benefit of the TV and radio audiences, mirroring the style mastered by Boris Johnson. Let me tell you why. When announcements are made to what policy is being adopted, one expects to see the detail of such a policy decision within its published manifesto, and not just the repeat of the vox pop. For example, where would the factories be located? How will the equivalents Do you know that equivalent section contained within the TCA? How will that be handled? I'm relatively sure that if the UK government grant aids a company to attract it to set up or even to remain within the UK, this will be a breach of the agreement. And then the SH1T will hit the fan again. Guys, we need the Labour Party to step up. See you on the flip side. Take care.